Hey everybody, Hernke here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I have a very special guest who invited me into her studio. It's called Vanity Studio. It's in Burbank, California. Liz Norris. She's the owner. Liz,
hey.
Thank you so much for having me in your beautiful studio.
Thanks.
I got to see your room just a few minutes ago, where you do everything. So, how are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
This is after a long, busy Saturday.
Yeah,
Kind of crazy for booking this time, but
business is picking up though for you.
yes, thank
That's
goodness.
good. Yeah.
It was a long year.
Yes, it was a very long year, but hopefully it'll just keep going up for you, and
Yep.
there we go.
Yep, back on track.
So, how did you get started in the skincare industry, and what motivated you? Was there anything that inspired you, or how long ago did that begin for you?
Gosh, I was straight out of high school. I had always struggled with, breakouts. About 12 years old, I started getting them right here, and watching a TV, and the TV tells me to buy Oxy something, and try that, and then you try Noxzema, and you try Clean and Clear, and you try, and just the acne just gets worse and worse, and then my friends who don't have acne tell me, don't wash your face at night. Okay, I'll try that. That didn't work. And it just I was so sick and tired of the mystery of what this is, and it worked. It is that was in my mind, and then I was thinking about what am I going to do. I go to college, and big commitment to think of like a 4-year thing, and I also had a lot of piercings. I had this is the late 90s, and there were some piercings and some places that you wouldn't believe. I'm like, oh, whoa. Anyway, so but I wanted to be able to express myself, dress how I wanted to dress, wear my hair, whatever, to have tattoos or whatever. Just wanted to have the control and the freedom to be myself. And I found a school not too far from where I grew up, and I thought, oh, I could go to school for this and get a trade and have a decent hourly wage, and then if I decided to go to college, I could work part-time and but not have to ever work for minimum wage. That was a big thing for me. So I walked in to the school and I said, can I go to school here with this? I had a septum piercing, I had a little side piercing too. I actually had a piercing here. It was called Madison. That didn't work out too well, but it's a little scar there. It's fine.
Oh, wow.
So they said, yeah, you can. I mean, you're going to pay us, so we can't tell you not to. And I said, okay. So I signed up and to go to school there, and that's a long story, but it was weird because for the first time in my life, I felt like, as an adult, I guess, as a young adult, I felt like I was really good at something, and I had a knack. I understood, and they taught us. It was just easy to understand and to start working on people in the school, and then I went out into working in the world from there. That was a whole other story.
When you were working on students at the school, did you practice on students, or did people actually come in that weren't affiliated with the school and you had to do skincare on them?
So we have both. They start you very quickly working on people. I think that's common in these trade schools. But you do a little bit of theory, and then they get you right on to hands-on. And so sometimes we were practicing on each other, and then sometimes they had clients who would pay like $3 for a facial, and those were some interesting people. Yeah. Oh yeah.
$3 for a facial?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna use some. It was just basically a lab fee, products fee.
Yeah.
And we get tips and stuff, but so we started working on people from either there were people who were on a budget, or there was also what's it called? I think it was Leisure World in Seal Beach, and I think that was the name of the place. So they would actually bus the older people in, and they were, they would get their treatments and they get their hair done at the salon part, and yeah, that's how we got to learn.
That's awesome. And now, all the equipment that you have, where did you accumulate all of that?
Well,
did it build up over time? Like I had this for a while, and I switched it out for this. Where do you get equipment like that?
I got a mentor a few years ago. I don't know if she knows that she's my mentor, but she's a really amazing, talented, older esthetician. She's been an esthetician a little bit less time than me, but she started older and she got right into the science and the she passed all the waxing and she never did any of that. It was straight to anti-aging or age management is a better way to call it, and the proper machines to use, and so I started working with her with the marketing team for a little while, and I learned from her, and I went to some classes, and it just really evolved over the last couple of years into really, really age management and serious skincare treatment stuff. So now I'm pretty blown away by actually what I've created, especially during the shutdown time. I've had a lot of time to study, a lot of time to set things up, and I used the time. There was no Netflix day for me. We were in here painting, I'm studying nonstop, so I've been really busy.
That's good.
Through all this, yeah.
That's good. What is do you have like a challenging facial or face treatment, like when somebody requests, it's like, all right, this one's a tricky one for me, or this one's a hard one for me, or are they all pretty much it's a walk in the park? You know what to do. You're not nervous about any treatments that you do?
No, I don't do anything that I'm not comfortable with or that I don't agree with. That's always been, even when I worked for someone else, I never had to do anything that I didn't feel good about. I actually, micro-dermabrasion was one of them. My first med spa I worked for had micro-dermabrasion, and I was excited to do it because it was a lot of money. I got paid well for it, and it was a very short treatment. And as I started doing it on people, I started thinking about, really, we're vacuuming their skin with crystals, and I don't know, as I was doing it hands-on, and especially on anyone with acne, it would always clog the tubes, and you have to stop. Do this little jiggle and adjust it, and then you go back on the client. But thank God, I paid attention to the little details in the training, and they said you got to touch it to yourself first before you put it back on their face, even after you've put it back on a proper setting where you just left off. And with this particular client, when this happened, I took it off and I did my little shik and went to put it back on, did my wrist first, and when I did that, it scared the hell out of me because it hurt, and I screamed. Ah! Her face was right there. Like, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. I had a hole in my arm, and I couldn't believe it when I looked. And that could have been her face.
Yeah.
And she's Asian too, so she would have had a scar that would have been pretty substantial from that. And so I located the piece of meat that was on the wall, and from my flinging, and I just looked at her and I said, let's do a glycolic. and she said, okay. And I really felt that was the better treatment for her. And ever since then, I stick to what I know is right for the client, and to be safe, and I don't buy machines that are not top notch. It's just not worth it. It's not worth wasting the safety, and also if something doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Did that lady see the skin go flying off?
Well, she knew by my reaction, and then she saw that I had a hole in my arm, and then I wanted to locate it because I couldn't believe that could even happen. And I can only imagine how many people have never tested it back on somebody's, on their skin themselves. Now, an interesting thing happened after that. This was the boom in the late 90s of micro-dermabrasion, lunchtime peel. It was like signs everywhere, lunchtime peel. I ended up not wanting to participate in that anymore. I would just stick to using acids and enzymes and things like that to exfoliate the skin. And years later, they found out that there were estheticians dying from breathing in those crystals all day, because they were doing them all day, taking in that money. And this was about, I think we were charging like $120 for 30 minutes. That was pretty good back then. Late 90s, that was a good chunk of change. And especially I was young, right out of school. I wanted it, but I just didn't feel good about it. So I'm glad I didn't, because that whole breathing in the crystals turned out to be a really bad thing for some estheticians. It was basically like the 9/11 responder syndrome, where they were
breathing in the. Oh no.
Yeah.
And so did the like laws have to change the stuff that was being used?
Yeah, they changed the type of crystals being used. Doesn't have that same, wherever it is that you're breathing it in. I still never went back to micro-dermabrasion. I just didn't care for it. Now we have Hydrafacial. It's actually the same company, Edge Systems, created micro-dermabrasion, and then there's all the other companies that make the machine, spin-offs, and they get them made in China and different countries and stuff. But Hydrafacial started doing it with serums, and when I learned about that, I thought, no, that might be something. And that, oh gosh, that treatment, I loved it. I would do it for free. If I didn't have to pay my bills, I would literally do it for free all day. It's so fun.
Maybe I'll try one out. Can I try one out?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's do it.
It's awesome.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Sucks all the right. I think I'm out of product.
It sucks all the crap out.
It's a bunch of steps. It's actually on the screen. It was going through. I always keep it on there. It's on the TV, but it's a device. It's a $30,000 machine, and gosh, I can't believe I even have one. It's amazing. And I have to refill the serums. The serums cost, but it's so worth it. And anyway, I go through there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot we do with it, but it's a deep cleansing. We do lymphatic drainage. We do an exfoliation treatment. We do glycolic and salicylic. And it's all customizable, too, for targeted treatments. It can be done in 30 minutes. Or it can, take an hour. It just depends on, what we're including in the treatment. And it ranges, from 200 to 3 or even 400 and up. Who knows?
Holy cow.
I can do some expensive facials.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like that.
That lady who left a little while ago, she was here all day.
Really?
1:30 she started. We were doing body, we did cryo, we did microcurrent. We did a lot. It
was her day at the spa.
Yep.
Oh
families do wellness checks. They're like, where are you? Are you still here?
Oh my!
There's so much to do.
How do clients find you? Is it just word of mouth, or do you have a way of advertising?
Let's see. Right now I've had a long time clientele. People. I've had relationships in this town since I probably started at that med spa 20 years ago.
Yeah, house.
Before that, yeah. I started at a place on Olive. Oh my gosh, this place. So I had my license. I was fresh out of school. I was very insecure. I was very scared to go up to a place and ask for a job. And I always felt like, oh, they don't want someone brand new, and I was just so nervous about it. And in Olive, it's Olive in Verdugo. Remember that is?
Mm-hmm.
There's those little bungalows right there, and
mm-hmm.
it used to go. They did Planned Parenthood, well, nothing like that, but just birth control pills and little checks, And so I used to go there, and then I knew they had some little thing going on in there, and I said to the doctor, the female doctor was with me. I said, "Do you think I'm an esthetician. I have my license. Do you think I should apply?" And she said, "Yes." And it was very, okay. So I went in and I asked, and that's where I started at a med spa. And it was this doctor, Dr. Kasim, and he was one of the early med spas where he had a Vichy shower. We had this tub that did some stuff. We didn't get much use out of that, but the Vichy shower was really cool. And then we had our treatment rooms, and we had a sauna. It was a really cool place. It was just, we weren't busy. It was hard to get people in. They were always doing little coupon deals, and we didn't get anybody who was really, that was a weird thing. So I didn't stay there too long. I just wasn't busy enough.
And then you went to the house?
No, then I went to work at, Tamara Dayhill Salon on Riverside Drive. And I was there for a couple of years. That was pretty cool. I met some great people in there, and I rented the room in the back. And we did Dermalogica back then. We do much more, serious products now, but that was it back then, I thought. And then I got into Eminence, the organic stuff. That was good. And then okay, so from Tamara Daigle, where did I go? Oh my gosh, it's so funny how you're like my memory. I should have a journal. I went to Wax Poetic over here in Burbank, right here. It was right by Cafecito and the Bearded Lady Museum. It's in that right between. It's one of the It was one of the places right between there. It's not there anymore. But so I worked there for a couple years, and that was great. I learned a lot from the owner. She was really good at waxing and some clinical skincare treatments. We did that for a while, and then that kind of ran its course. With personalities and salons, it gets tricky sometimes. Especially grew a bunch of girls in their 20s.
Oh yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Lots of testosterone.
Yeah, something, and it gets toxic sometimes in those salons.
Oh no.
So, but we were busy. It was a great place, but I decided to move on, and I found actually a client kind of picked up on it. It's funny, I didn't say a word, and she picked up on it, and she said, "I know of a place in Studio City." I've never had to look for a job ever. She said, "I know of a place in Studio City, and they need someone." So I said, "Okay." So I went and checked it out. So I went to work in Studio City on Ventura Boulevard, and between which one was that? Nope, that was the Ventura Boulevard was between
Ventura and Tahunga.
Yeah, right near Katsuya.
Yeah.
That was good. I was right there. We'd walk right over there after work. It was amazing. So I was at this place called Maxfield's. It was a great little salon, and they had it was a rental. I had this room. It was gorgeous, and I had my own bathroom in the back in my room too. So I took off from there. I did great. I was booked nonstop. It was my own clients. I really wasn't even able to accommodate the clients in the salon who would have been willing to go there too. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. And I got to where I didn't want to work 5 days a week. I wanted to work 4 days a week, and I would just do longer days. And the owner wanted someone else, in there. She wanted to rent the room. And I said, "Look, how much do I have to pay you to just, let me have the room to myself?" So we worked out a deal. And then I could work my 4 days a week, and nobody had to mess with my room. That's a lot of personal stuff in there. I don't know how you're going to share, those items. So so that worked out for a while, and then there was a place upstairs and around the back, and the rent was literally $500 a month, and I was paying $1,400 to be in a salon, and I would have more space, and I think I got like 600 square feet or something. So that's what I did. I was 26 years old, and I, she had no, we shook hands, we were cool. I was renting, and I just decided to go rent somewhere else, and then they got another esthetician in there. But yeah, so I had my own business by 26, and I was, we set it up, and we had to put up some walls and fix the bathroom, and buy some stuff, and I was able to do it. Everything less than $10,000.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, and this was before. This was probably 2006. It's all so fuzzy, but I don't know. Usually, I just know how old I was when I was doing certain things. But so I was. Gosh, I was booked. I couldn't believe. Wow, everything was it was Brazilian waxes all day, some facials, and the Eminence products, and just going all day, and it was great. I was happy. It was like being paid to see my friends all day. It still is, so that's basically what it is. It's great. So it was a few years into that place, and I'm starting to feel like I needed something a little bigger. Maybe I should have some employees, expand a little bit. Also had some neighbors who moved in next door, and they were really nasty. They were just making noise and partying, and it was a mess. So I felt that it was time to move on, and that's when I was always going to D Cachet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, restaurant! I miss that place.
Yeah, it was something about that place. It
magic.
Was just very
pure magic.
And it was just very cozy and just
beautiful, and the food was insane. It was
oh yeah, the drinks were really good.
We would spend $90 a night. I remember specifically, I seem to remember that, but $100 something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal at all. There was plenty of money rolling in, and didn't mind taking myself out after work to treat.
For a little treat, yeah.
No,
a little treat.
Not at all.
Patty and her husband owned that place.
Yeah.
And they sold it, I guess. To somebody?
Yeah, I guess so I was coming out of there, and I saw the for lease sign across the street in that beautiful building
Mm-hmm.
that where we met, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's perfect. I'll move there. And how much is it? And it was I think it was about $3,000 a month. So I went from $600 a month by the time I moved out of that other place to $3,000 a month.
Yeah, it was a nice space.
Big expansion, yeah, and it was beautiful. I mean, we painted it. We did the we did the lights and all the different rooms, and it had a kitchen. That was great. I like to have everything available. I want to be able to put my food in the fridge, or just have access to everything. So
Yeah.
that place was pretty great. A little weird, a couple weird vibes. Had some spooky things happen there.
Oh yeah. Yep, I know.
Things I'll never forget. And then we had a little issue in the back with the Johns. And we had a massage parlor in the back.
Oh, yes, I remember you were telling me about
the
that.
address was a little too close to mine. I was 10720 and they were 10720 and a half. And so the Johns were banging on the door all day. And I'm trying to do clients, and then, it literally happened like 3-4 times a day. And sometimes if I didn't have the door locked, they'd walk in and they would argue with me about what I was going to do for them. And like, no, I don't do massage. They're like, yes, you do.
Did you put a sign on the door that said you're at the wrong spot?
It never occurred to me to do that. Well, one thing we used to do, oh my gosh, when I used the big back room in the back for treatments for a while, I parked my F1, had an F-150 truck, and I would park it right at the base of their stairs. I'm bad. Park it right at the base of their stairs, and I kept my keys handy, and we could see through the sheer curtains. The daytime, no one can see in, and we were upstairs anyway. We'd see the Johns going up there, and I'd wait till right when they were about to pass in front of my truck, and I'd hit my alarm button. Just jump out of their skin. I actually had I saw two guys leave because it scared them. It was interesting. I mean, I saw a lot of things, a lot of different walks of life going up there. Saw some interesting things. Saw some a lot of older guys, just a lot of older guys. But yeah, that place was finally got out of my lease. It was just too much of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The guys just couldn't stay out of my place, and it wasn't good. So
That's good you got out of there. But now, you look at this space.
yeah, so I came to Burbank because
beautiful space.
Burbank is a much nicer neighborhood as far as just the police take care of the neighborhood a lot more.
Mm.
And something like that won't happen in Burbank. So I was on the North Hollywood side of Toluca Lake. That was LAPD. Love them, but they're busy.
Oh yeah.
And so Burbank police. I think that's what happens. They keep it little neighborhood a little more tight. So
yeah.
So I've been here for 11 years now.
And this building? 11 years?
11 years.
Whoa,
this
all
space
right.
right here and it's changed a lot over the years since I took over the other unit next door, and cut a little hole in the wall, and now we've got doubled my space.
So originally it started. This was the wall.
Yeah.
And all your work area was back there.
That was a curtain.
Door?
Yeah, it was a curtain, and this was kind of the waiting area, and
all right.
come in, and then I was just working behind a curtain. Airflow is an issue when you don't have central air, and we get the air conditioner here, so I was afraid to put up a wall. I actually wish I would have done it sooner, because it's fine, it's working great. We just didn't put the wall all the way up to the ceiling, so it's working fine now.
Cool. We're gonna do a little walkthrough of the room.
So here are some of my Cadillacs in my garage. This is a Neuritris SX 4500. It's a microcurrent machine, and this does face and body. So you'd see there's a video of Madonna getting fork facial. That's the same machine, and I can do it's restoring mitochondria to your cells and toning the muscles and tightening your skin. This is very awesome anti-aging device, and these are the body part channels. So we can do abs while we work on your face. It's cool multitasking and very involved science here, but very good thing to try, especially to start young on these things. This is a Hydrafacial Machine, and this is like what I was talking about earlier. And this is the handheld piece. We use different tips to go through the treatment, and we figure out, which one. This is my favorite one to do, the platinum Hydrafacial. That's the most targeted treatment. So we start with the lymphatic drainage modality here, and then we go in and we cleanse and we use a warm towel, and then we start exfoliating. And all these serums are coming from the Hydrafacial company, and they're proprietary serums. And we're deep cleansing. This is the peel, and that's a lot. I'm sure you don't want to hear all that, but it's your skin basically will be left with the cleanest, healthiest skin of your life, and you'll be hydrated, non-greasy, and your skin will reflect light. So when you're going to walk by the mirror, and for weeks you're going to, whoa, what's that? It's shining, but it's not oily, and that's healthy skin. Hope I have that, right?
You do.
And I actually did a DMK mask on myself this morning. And then this is a very this is a mask friendly service. This is the Pagani T-Shock machine. It's a cryo machine that does fat freezing, and we go into different programs for men or women. It's very specific. You don't mix these things. It's important because it's different settings based on the thickness of the skin. So if you want to have, it can do anti-aging on the face. It does hot and cold. This is not for fat freezing on the face. We don't do that. It's just for rejuvenating the skin. It can help with extra weight around the jaw and the neck too. And then we can do the chest. We have anti-aging treatments for that. We've got the stomach. We can do fat freezing on the stomach, back of the arms, and buttocks, thighs, you name it. All the body parts that we that kind of bother us. We're actually freezing fat, and your fat cells have memory. So, like, I know for me, I have a certain area that I won't point out right now that is always, even when I'm in great shape and I'm happy with my weight, it's like, can't this just go away? That's where this comes in, because we're actually freezing the fat, and it can't come back to that area. Once we kill those fat cells in that area, if you were to gain 50 pounds afterwards, it'll come back somewhere else, not that area. So that's the science of cryo fat freezing, and other machines that do that. Cool Sculpting, you've probably heard of, and Cryo Skin. This one's from Italy, and the difference with this machine is that it's a wand, so I'm working it, and we have hot and cold modalities so that we're actually stimulating collagen growth and tightening the skin. So that's why I picked this one. I love it. And we're very busy with this right now.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing us around.
Yeah.
There we go. But wrapping up, do you have any advice that you'd like to give to anybody that's aspiring to be an esthetician? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Esthetician? Okay.
Esthetician.
Yeah. Any words you want to tell at all?
Well, let's see. Don't skimp on education at all, and don't be afraid to learn new things, and products and machines. Always make sure you know where they're coming from. Make sure that you're investing in the best. You don't want to have machines that are going to make promises that they don't deliver,
Mm-hmm.
and or break down on you. And because even when they're not the best, they're still not cheap. So, and you never want to let the client down with expectations. So always be honest about expectations, and don't put a ceiling on something that it's going to take 2 treatments. Who knows? I mean, everyone's different. And also skincare. I really recommend finding a skincare line that is professional and that isn't sold in every beauty supply store. You need to find something that really respects their therapists and the education and keeping the products that aren't, they're not floating around on the internet where anyone can buy them, because sometimes you don't get the real product. Now with the internet, it's changed a lot to how these professional products are working and kept.
All right. Right on. And then any skincare tips? Of course, stay hydrated with water, right?
Yes.
Any skincare tips for a beautiful looking skin? Because I know right now a lot of people are getting irritated with masks.
Yeah.
Yep, that's me. This beard, they're like, oh, I have a little pimple here, a little pimple there.
Yeah.
Ooh, it drives me nuts.
Well, the mask thing, you do definitely want to change your mask often, depending on what you're using and stuff. But you gotta have the mask needs to be clean, and don't reuse it every day, obviously. One thing about that I wish that I had known and cared more about was the neck and the chest. I was always worried about my face, didn't want to have acne. It was pretty much my main concern. And then all of a sudden, you're in your early 40s, and, all of a sudden the skin, on the neck starts getting a little loose. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have been putting vitamin C serum on that, in my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
And starting to, build those tissues, before the fall. So that's a big one, the neck. Take care of your neck and use sunblock on your neck. The sunblock is, so important. It's that daily exposure. It's not the sunburn. I mean, that happens, that's bad for you too.
Patty always told me too.
It's the daily.
Get the sunblock on your face.
The skin, the sun, we need sun, but it also breaks down your skin. So, be careful with that, and you might regret it someday. You get older, and then but there's stuff we can do. It's pretty cool. It's actually it's an interesting time for this field, because there's a lot that we can do. Amazing products, we have amazing procedures and machines and technology that I wouldn't have ever dreamed of. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's fun. I love it. I'm not working. I'm just having fun.
All right. Well, thanks for having me out here and talking to you a little bit about esthetician and skincare. Really appreciate it, and walking me through your little workroom. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything. And if you want to get a facial, everything to contact Liz will be in the links in the description below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button below for more videos, more interviews, all the good stuff coming up. This is Hernke and Liz Norris signing off.